Hey, what's up guys, Rep here. So over and over again on places like Twitter, we have seen users claim that the design of fictional characters from video games, in particular female characters, are unrealistic. That these designs don't match real-life counterparts of women. And they have been very silent in regards to the story that we're going to go over today. Because these people who normally screech and cry every single time they see an attractive video game character or a curvy video game character, they have nothing to say about a character that is based on a real life woman. So this is a game that is releasing in 2024, Stellar Blade, and the developers have recently revealed that the main protagonist of this franchise, named Eve, is based on a 3D scan of a Korean model. So this whole idea that these video game characters have unrealistic standards of beauty, completely thrown out the window, and the people who normally cry about this stuff are very silent about these developments. But before we look into some of the reactions to this, let's just get an idea of what this game is. So basically, we're going to focus on this account. They shared a lot of the news we're going over today. They're a fan page covering anything that involves Shift Up Games, who's also responsible for Nikkei. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with that. But this is their post kind of talking about Stellar Blade. It was announced that it's going to be releasing in 2024. It used to be known as Project Eve, if that rings a bell for anyone. They changed the name somewhat recently. But a lot of people are comparing this game to other titles like Nier Automata. And it's like I said, coming out in 2024. And it's the first console release for this company. So a lot of people are really looking forward to it. But here's the post that everyone is talking about. This has gotten a lot of attention. So it says, want to know a fun fact before jumping into the new year. In Stellar Blade, our protagonist Eve, body's figure was actually based on a 3D scan of the Korean model Shin Jae-eun. Definitely did not pronounce that correctly, my apologies. But yes, this is the clip everyone's looking at here, so let's give it a quick play. You can see she's standing here with the 3D scanners around her. It's actually a really cool looking scene right here. But that's the character that they're basing her off of. So this is very good proof that you can have a attractive, curvy character, and it still upholds to realistic standards of real-life women. And a lot of people are up in arms over this, and a lot of people are also saying, well, we told you so, to all the people who have been complaining about this sort of thing for many, many years. You can see some of the quotes like this saying, something, in quotes, no woman actually has a body like that, something, her body is unrealistic. And we all know that this is the rhetoric we've been listening to for years and years on Twitter. No matter how many times these people want to bot likes on their tweets saying that these video game characters are unrealistic, it doesn't change the fact that we have examples like this to prove otherwise. But in the replies to that tweet, I found this very hilarious clip. So this is from an individual named Alex Battaglia. And this is a clip from a few years ago. He was reacting to what was then called Project Eve, and it contained some early trailers of this game. And he is reacting to the design of these characters, in particular the main protagonist, Eve. And he has a lot to say about this body type. And he'll go on to say it's unrealistic and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, this clip will definitely be known for aging like milk. So let's give it a quick listen.
For that. The one thing, I know you were talking about the character from a bygone era. I do think the character model was actually like very distracting in not a good way, because like with the camera angles chosen, it just felt like this game seems like a game that came out in like 2002 in terms of its, like character design. It's like a bit old and not flattering, I don't think, for a modern audience. In comparison to something like Forspoken, which has, yes, it has a much more realistic looking character designs. It's not these hyper proportioned something or another's, but it also seemed, I don't know, a bit more grounded in a way that I found much more appealing.
So there's a lot I could say, probably can't say on YouTube about my reaction to some of those things he just said. But here's the thing. So you might have heard Forspoken dropped. We'll get to that in a second. But you can tell that in the 30 seconds or so of this clip, he goes on and on saying about how this design of this character is unrealistic and unappealing. First of all, fellas, do you think that design is unappealing? I think most people would disagree, but he clearly has a problem with the design of this character and is trying to show it as something unrealistic. We know now that that claim is completely wrong and one of the most poorly aged clips you'll see in a while. But yeah, the unrealistic proportions are based off of a real person. So go figure. That's not really surprising to a lot of people other than people like this who made this clip. But anyways, talking about Forspoken. Here's some of this, the regular old shots you can find. There's so many images like this coming out of the game. This game has been memed on nonstop since it was released. It's just not a very visually appealing game. And before you cry, oh, small indie company, leave them alone, Rev. The budget for Forspoken was $100 million. So I don't want to hear anyone feeling sorry for the quality of some of these shots coming out of that game, but to compare the two is absolutely insane. That's the realistic that a lot of people are trying to portray in Western releases that looks pretty bad, if we're being honest, comparing to the realistic ones coming out of titles like Stellar Blade that look much more visually appealing. I think we can all agree one looks better than the other. But anyways, going back to the tweet, so many people coming out to basically grab this win saying she's Unrealistic Squad has been real quiet since this one dropped. Well, they're not entirely quiet. Some people have come to attack those celebrating this discovery here. So this user said right here, she looks absolutely stunning. Western devs have no excuse. Bring back female beauty and sex appeal in media. I will absolutely be buying this game once it comes out. You see that, developers, especially Western developers? People are going to buy a game just because someone's putting sex appeal into a game. That's a pretty good marketing strategy. How about you guys go with that one instead of the status quo from the last couple of years that's driving a lot of people away from Western releases? But anyways, we'd have a brave soul in the replies attacking that previous user saying, nah, you are still a freaking loser if you think that's some kind of a gotcha. I'm not the loser that thinks every woman needs to be a size 2 to be considered attractive. Where the original poster replies, when did I say every woman? Why the F am I a loser for having a preference? Are you slow or something? Be for real. Where this user would reply saying, in quotes, Western devs have no excuse, bring back female beauty and sex appeal in media. And then they say, you're implying that Western devs are intentionally making unattractive women, but when you get called out, it's just a preference. Your preference isn't law. Oh boy. Well, anyways, this user would reply with some examples of Western developers making these character designs that are, let's just say, not as flattering. And they say implying, I'm not implying anything because it's real. I never claimed my preferences were law. They are my law because I have the freedom of choice. Surprise, surprise. Do you always go out of your way to try to shame women for enjoying things? So pitiful. Yeah, you know, again, a lot of people focus on what men want with these character designs. A lot of women want the more attractive character designs. I mean, that's just the way a lot of people are. Like, it's not a surprise. If that's a surprise to you, I don't know what to tell you. You've been on Twitter too much. But yeah, everyone wants these more attractive designs like the ones we were looking at earlier with Stellar Blade. This is not anything new. Sex appeal sells video games. People want to see those sorts of things. They want to see more attractive and conventionally pretty characters and curvy characters. It's not a surprise. And the reason games like these get memed on so much is it looks like they're intentionally trying to make these characters look as unappealing as possible. And taking actual inspiration from real people in the process, it's just insulting to the people that they're sampling from. You know, instead of celebrating their actual beauty, they're trying to clearly downgrade them in some sort of a way that really, like, if anyone's being honest about it, we can see what they're doing here, and it's really obnoxious, and a lot of people are just tired of seeing it, and that's why these games keep tanking, and games like Stellar Blade are getting hyped up for doing something that wasn't a problem until a couple years ago. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys all appreciated this fine discovery that these accounts have made, and yeah, please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.